Hello there, everyone. Welcome back, and I am so glad because I'm finally able to do a video on this new series that I've been thinking about doing for a while. And the series in question is why blank is a great character. And in this case, I'll be talking about Abby from The Last of Us Part 2, which is pretty funny because a lot have different opinions and all for this game has been put out, especially on how a lot of people did not like the character of Abby and all this sorts of stuff that she did in the game and her motives and this and that, and all sorts of negativity was spread throughout the game, not just on her but on specific choices made throughout the story and all. So I just thought I'd want to do a video on why I think this character gets too much hate and why I really like this character. And this is this is kind of like a new series, so I already know where it's going to go from here, but I do have a couple of other characters that I would like to talk about and why I like them. But I thought I'd start off with this one since I don't really see a lot of people really like this character, and it's kind of unfortunate because I do think that this is a great character. Yes, why Abby is a great character. So I'm gonna get into that, but obviously there's gonna be spoilers from Last of Us 1 and 2 to throughout this video, so just a heads up. But the games have been out for years for the first one and a good few months for the second one. So for Abby, the main thing that I'm just gonna get it out of the way. The main people that people hate about Abby is what she did to Joel at the beginning of the game. And to be fair, how it was dropped upon us is kind of interesting because you have the intro where Joel talks to Tommy, and then you play as Ellie went on that fateful day before, and then you see it from her perspective. You play two scenes with Abby where you meet this new character, and she's going with Owen. They see a new this camp, and they're like, we're looking for this guy. You don't know who the guy is, but you obviously find out it's Joel, and they don't really tell you why or why her motives are and all, but he even saves her and all from a zombie horde with Tommy, and then they go back to their place and they knock out Tommy, her and her crew, and then they just beat up Joel. She beats up Joel with the golf club, which has spawned a lot of memes, and that was the main thing that really got a lot of people angry, is Joel was out of character and this and that. But those points are pretty valid, but when we dive into it, the main reason why Abby wanted to do that, I actually think is really smart, and I really liked it. So the main reason why Abby wanted to get revenge on Joel is because at the end of the first game, he, to save Ellie, killed all those fireflies, and the doctor who were trying to, get a cure from her, but the only way to do that, since it grows in the brain, was to kill her. And the doctor turned out to be Abby's dad. And she was that really broke her, and not just because they lost the cure and all, but she lost her dad. So that's a really good plot for a revenge tale right there. That's really cool, really good, and it ties into the first game pretty well. So her motives are pretty good. People I see were just trashing on it and saying, oh, that's ridiculous, she has no emotion and she's heartless, and that's dumb. And I was seeing a bunch of stuff like that, and I'm just a lot of people were bringing up, I know this video is kind of rambled though, and I do apologize, I have a lot of mixed thoughts on this thing, but a lot of people are bringing up how after you play the 3 days as both characters, when they get into their altercation at the theater that Ellie was staying at, how she's about to kill Dina, and then Ellie's no, stop, she's pregnant, and then Abby pauses, and then it's good, and everyone's that is insane, what a psychopath. And I'm didn't Ellie kill her pregnant friend earlier? Despite the context, Abby doesn't know that she felt bad about it or didn't mean to, because she didn't know she was she didn't know about all that. What she saw was this lady that she let live along with this dude. They both hunted and killed all of her friends down except her, because in her eyes justice was served. She got revenge and justice for her dad and all those Fireflies being murdered by Joel in her eyes. But for her to now let them live just for them to kill off all of her friends, and now she basically has no one except that kid that she met on her journey, that's like frustration I could see. And she did go through a lot of stuff those 3 days as well, which I really do like. I'm not gonna really dive into the gameplay too much, but like she went through a lot of stuff too. It isn't just she was like sitting high and pretty doing nothing the whole time while Ellie was looking for her, because she was dealing with a lot of the like stuff with her group, because her group, like, as we're introduced when we're playing as Ellie, they seem heartless and ruthless, but they're a pretty nice community. I mean, they still do horrible stuff, but they are like constantly at battle with this other cult group, and like how it all like comes to a head is really well done. And like it's just like how she's focused on all this stuff and trying to save these two kids who are trying to leave the cult, while her group is looking for her because she left her faction to help these kids while finding her friend that left. And while all this is going on and she goes through all this, behind, like, without her knowing, all of her friends are being killed off one by one by Ellie and her crew. And when she finally gets that confrontation, it's like this big buildup. You're like, oh boy. I mean, it could have been done a little bit better, I guess, because I've seen a lot of videos dissecting this plot and all. So granted with that, but I think the motivations for Abby are really solid. Her, like, people saying that she has no emotion and all, she does. I mean, she's not a good person, but no one in this universe is really, especially like Ellie's like grown to be like pretty horrible person because of anger and like sadness and like all this stuff because of what happened, because lots of unfinished stuff that she didn't get to, you know, make up with Joel, really. I mean, they had some talks, especially near the end, but it just wasn't like fulfilling, you know, for her. What I'm trying to say is everyone basically has their good motivations in this story. Like Joel, you understand, like, especially when you play through the first game and they showed like his origins and all, and what happened to his daughter and how he didn't want to lose another daughter and Ellie. It's like his motivations are really solid and really make sense. Like, it's horrible what he did and all, but you understand, and you like, you can kind of see yourself maybe doing that to protect someone you love. Ellie wanted to get revenge because of, you know, losing her fatherly figure, which, like, again, another good motivation. Like, you understand where she's coming from. Abby losing her dad and all, like, you can understand where they're coming from. I really don't get why people can't see where Abby's coming from her motivations and not having any emotion, because like she literally spares Ellie twice, at the beginning and at the theater, because, you know, Lev was watching the kid. She decides to let her and Dina live. I mean, Tommy lived too, but she probably thought he was dead. But like, I mean, it's just frustrating that all the hate was for her, mostly because of her, you know, killing a beloved character that people really liked. And I mean, personally, like, I knew that it was going to tie into the first game. Like, it just had to. So the assumption that it wasn't and that everything was going to be perfectly fine and all, like, should they have killed Joel off at the beginning? Maybe not, because that really just made a lot of people pretty angry, and it didn't help that that stuff was leaked. So people had this assumption going in to just hate that character, and especially when they found out you play half the game as the character, that's really unfortunate that all of that got leaked. Because I mean, I guarantee you, if it wasn't leaked, people would still be mad, but I don't think it would have been this bad, you know, for the backlash, especially for the character, because the actress and the people that worked on the game and all, a lot of them were getting death threats and stuff, and it's really unfortunate to see that, because this was a really masterfully made game, really excellent. Like, the story I thought was really heartbreaking, emotional. It showed both sides of the perspective. I really do like it when stories do that, where you see, instead of just a stereotypical villain, you actually see their reasons and motivations on why they're doing it. And in their eyes, they're not the bad guy. Like, everyone in their eyes, they're not the bad guy. They're doing it for, like, they're following their own path. I really like it when stories do that type of stuff, and I want more games like this. Like, I'm gonna say it, like, more games like this that take risk and do it where you could see both perspectives. Maybe not play the game as the villain per se, but like you could like have a clean, nice motivation on why characters that you don't like or you are portrayed as bad guys, why they're doing what they're doing. Like whether it's from what happened to them in the past or what like molded them into who they are. Like that stuff's really interesting. And like Ellie, like a lot of people say that Ellie's the bad guy in the game, and like from a lot of perspectives it's pretty interesting to think about, because like both characters do horrible stuff throughout the game, but one in Abby seems to get hated on a lot more than the other, which is Ellie, because a lot of people know and care about Ellie because they've seen what she's been through throughout 2 games now. With Abby though, like I do see, like there is one criticism I see that people are like, oh, they have it set up where all this specific stuff happens so that you can feel bad and make you feel like sympathy for this horrible person. I'm like, well, I mean, what do you want them to do? Like, I mean, I get she did something pretty bad and all, but like, what do you want them? Do you want them to like have no development or nothing really going on with her? Like, I promise you, I honestly see people complaining saying they make Abby too sympathetic just for you to root for her, even though she's a horrible character. And I'm like, stuff like that honestly makes no sense to me. Like people that say that type of stuff, I'm like, what? What? But yeah, like I know I've rambled on for a bit, and this video is kind of I just thought I'd give some thoughts about why this character I think is really good, because she truly, like, she's played, like, Laura Bailey did such a great job bringing so much emotion and life to this character. The motivations are pretty solid. You hate her and all, especially when you play as Ellie throughout, and you want to hunt her down and all, but like that's how they set it up for you to not like her. And then when you play as her for the second half, you see her perspective and what she went through and all that type of stuff. It's just it was a really unique experience, to be honest with you, and I really do appreciate Naughty Dog taking that risk to try that, because I thought maybe a little rocky at some parts, but I thought overall they succeeded, and this is indeed a great character. So that was a lot of rambling and all that sorts of stuff. I really do appreciate you guys for watching this video. I really, this is a new type of video and new series that I want to start doing more of in the future. So any feedback in the comments, that would be really much appreciated on what I did good, if there's anything I did wrong, or what your thoughts on Abby, and do you hate her or do you like her, or any of that stuff. That would be much appreciated. Also, if you want to hit the subscribe button, that'd be pretty cool as well, and hit the bell as well to get notified when I upload. Again, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye.